Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm Caitlin. We are dietetics students here at Viewville. I'm going to introduce the group. There's 6 of us in here. We're kind of the dietetics family, 3rd year. So before we introduce our topic, who do I have?
I'm Ashley.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm Harper.
I'm Drew.
Crystal.
Grace.
All right, so today we wanted to have a conversation about caffeine because it is such a big part of our lives. It comes in many forms, coffee likely being the most popular in our culture. But we also want to know, is it good for us? Is it bad for us? Why do we love it so much? Why is it so ingrained in our culture? So before we actually get started into the nitty-gritty of it all, let's talk about our go-to caffeinated drinks or foods that we each like. So I'll start it off. I have my favorite coffee ritual in the morning. I do a French press. I go for a walk in the morning, and especially this time of year, it's my favorite because it's so cold and crisp. And then I come home to my hot cup of coffee, and I put honey in it, and I put cinnamon in it, and Oatly, and it's like one of my most treasured parts of my day. Even when I do my grateful or I do my gratitude journal thing at night, I often include my cup of coffee in the morning. All right, what about you?
I'm really not a big caffeine drinker, but if I have to get a fun drink, I do love matcha. Like a real authentic
I've never
matcha.
tried
Matcha's amazing.
I don't like matcha from places like Starbucks, but in my hometown there's an actual coffee shop with real matcha and you can add flavors to it. It's my favorite.
What is it? What does this one taste like?
It's like green tea, but definitely, in my opinion, toned down a little bit.
Okay.
But I always get it with flavors like coconut.
It's an acquired
banana.
taste. A lot of people think it tastes
Yeah.
like grass, which it kind of
Yeah.
does.
If it's just
But
straight up, I
it
think
is
does.
really good, and when you drink it with some sort of sweetener, like she said, I like vanilla,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta try
it's
it.
really yummy.
I do like it.
It's like a milk based.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's on my list
yeah.
to do. Okay.
I'm one of the grass people. I think it tastes
Yeah.
exactly like grass. I don't do that. But yeah, I'm not like a coffee drinker, even like an energy drink person either.
Hmm.
I'm like a Diet Coke addict.
Yeah.
Like all day, every day.
Oh, we know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real problem. But that's my go-to
But
for
that's
sure.
your thing. That's your thing. What about you?
I'm a big Tim Hortons person. I like the cold brew.
Yeah.
I think it's the best tasting cold brew.
I don't think I've had cold brew either.
Really?
They
Yeah.
always make my coffee
It's so
taste
good.
horrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I don't know what it is, but I don't order a cold brew. I just order an iced coffee with some sort of
Yeah.
sweetener, and they always they like to make their own thing.
I think it's a little too fancy for Tim Hortons.
Yeah, I think so
just
too.
Yeah.
plain coffee.
They're always like, "What?"
I feel like we could have a whole separate podcast about picking apart different coffee houses and
Yeah,
brands and
right.
chains.
Agreed.
What about you?
I think my original go-to was an iced Americano with coconut syrup and white chocolate powder.
That
Yeah.
sounds really good.
But I got so used to drinking it that I started to get nauseous and headaches. But that was also because I wasn't eating with
Okay.
it. So
Yeah.
that's on me. So
Yeah.
at least with the college budget, I'm more so going with a London fog tea. So just
Nice.
Earl Grey tea,
Yeah.
some milk and
Those are so good.
vanilla. So
Yeah.
that's been my
Yeah.
soothing and go-to.
I know. I love if I do get coffee at a coffee shop, I love the ones that have lavender in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
like a lavender latte.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's so sweet.
I usually just drink coffee, an iced coffee. I'm not a big hot coffee person. I'll usually put a little bit of almond milk and then some sort of cream in it. Or if I'm getting it at Starbucks or something, I'll do some sort of sweetener.
Mm.
I also like shaken espressos there at Starbucks.
Oh,
That's
Those
my
are really
favorite.
good. The ice
Yeah,
sugar.
I like a lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
And then also sometimes if I'm feeling really, really tired, I'll get an energy drink, but that's very rare. And if I
Yeah.
do, it's usually a Celsius, the non-fizz ones,
Yeah.
or an Alani.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite energy
Nice.
drinks.
I
But
know. I've seen those recently.
yeah.
All right, so I got to try matcha and whatever that brilliant drink that you were talking about, Crystal. Okay, so now that we've gone over our favorites, let's get a little bit into the science of caffeine. And Crystal here is going to talk to us a little bit about how it works in our body.
Yeah, so normally, just on a daily basis, don't take caffeine, right? The brain produces a chemical called adenosine. So with that chemical, it binds to an adenosine receptors, which sends signals throughout the body and makes people tired and sleepy. So when you decide to like take caffeine, like through drinking coffee, tea, or an energy drink, like that caffeine is absorbed into your bloodstream and travels to your brain. And again, caffeine is a stimulant that blocks the adenosine receptors makes you feel tired, but instead increases the activity of your brain and nervous system, resulting in that alertness, focus, and increased energy. And aside from just, switching that avenue of going from tired to full energy, like caffeine there adds in like increases like neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which helps like promote those like feel good sensations when you drink caffeine or consume caffeine.
Nice.
So generally just like caffeine just kind of flips that switch from being tired to I'm happy,
Right.
I'm having a good time,
Which
I'm ready to
that's
have
what it
a
is
whole
for me.
bunch of energy. Yeah.
So have you ever noticed how fast caffeine hits you when you have it?
Yeah, I noticed that usually I would say about like 30 minutes in. I know like based off some research, they say like 10, 15 minutes right off the bat. But like I've also seen like, where you feel it most, like the highest peak is like 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
After consuming caffeine. So again, like with me, like that whole iced coffee situation and like feeling like nauseous and headache, like I would feel it like at that 30-minute mark and I'm like, okay, like I need to like reduce that intake or like I need to eat.
That's the thing. I think because I've been having my 1 cup of coffee every morning for so many years, I don't actually feel the effect of it. I just enjoy the ritual of it, And so I know we'll probably get into the dependence thing later on, but that is something that I'm kind of interested. Like, I don't know that I would probably feel the effect if I didn't have that cup of coffee now.
Right.
What about you guys?
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Like I don't ever feel it hit me, but when I don't have it in a day,
you feel
definitely feel the effects of not having caffeine in my body.
Yeah, exactly. Same
I'm
here.
like the opposite because I don't have it often at all. So when I do have it, I feel sick.
Yeah.
Like it does not feel good. Unless it's
really?
like with matcha, I don't feel so much. But when I have something like a coffee or like a Celsius, that's when it hits me.
Okay.
Like anxious, jittery. Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
Yeah.
that's a bummer.
I know. It's a shame.
You use it the same?
Oh yeah, if it's like on an empty stomach and I take like a cup of coffee, like, it's just too much. I feel like too much caffeine.
So seeing how it can have a different impact on everyone, depending on all these different factors that you talked about, do you find that it makes you feel more productive, jittery, upbeat, irritable? Like, do you notice any of those things?
I don't know if like upbeat or jittery would be like the word. Like, I mean, I think like how everyone was saying was like drinking coffee is like, I feel like it's I don't even know what the word would be right now, but like, it just gives that feel good effect. Like, it's like that cue.
More of like the dopamine effect or something.
Yeah, like a cue for the day, like, oh, I got to get my coffee, and that's what will help me start my day rather than be like, drink coffee and be like, oh, boost of energy, like just feeling recharged.
Yeah, because I definitely noticed that on the rare occasion I do have a second cup of coffee, I feel like super upbeat and super productive and focused. And so it's like if I know, like especially these days, the Thursdays that are super long, I might go ahead and get myself a second cup of coffee, and that's what like gets me through lab.
That's how I am. If I have
like
if I have more caffeine than I usually have like on a daily basis, or if I like sometimes I'll take some breaks just because I know like I don't want to be as dependent on it. I'll just feel like I'll drink it and I'm like I feel like myself again.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I feel like a better
You're
person.
a human again.
I'm the best version of myself.
Yeah. All right, so now we got a little bit of the science. Grace, you're going to talk to us about some of the health benefits. This is one of my favorite part because it justifies my cup of coffee.
No, exactly. Because I feel like when we think about caffeine and we tend to think of all like the negative effects of it. We like demonize it a little bit. Like, oh, like I had so much coffee today. Like I had an extra cup of coffee, whatever. But there actually is a lot of, health benefits to it, especially if you drink it moderately and you don't exceed the amount you should drink. So, I mean, the first and most common, I think, effect that we see that why most people drink it is that it improves your concentration improves your reaction time and your memory. So it's good for your cognitive function.
Nice.
Especially since Crystal talked a little bit about like the mechanism, but it blocks adenosine, which is a neurotransmitter that promotes sleep. So it makes you feel more awake. Therefore, you're going to be more concentrated. You're going to be just more with it, I guess. And there's also, this was something interesting. I found that there's a study that coffee can protect cognitive decline like dementia or Alzheimer's. Nice. And one of these studies found that drinking 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day at midlife was associated with a lower risk of dementia or Alzheimer's disease by 65%.
Did you say 5 to 6 cups?
3 to 5.
Oh, 3 to 5.
No, I feel like that's still a lot though, because I feel like
that seems excessive.
like me, like I will stick to like maybe, I mean, from what I drink is like 180 milligrams of caffeine. Yeah. So like that's maybe like 2 cups of coffee.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I feel like anything more than that, you're kind of like, that's too much. Like that's high, but I guess not. I don't know.
I mean, that's great.
That's
like,
interesting.
Whatever. But, and then also another benefit, and a lot of athletes use caffeine to help increase their athletic performance. It's since caffeine is a stimulant, it stimulates the central nervous system, and it increases the production of adrenaline, which is like your fight or flight response, makes you more energized. And it's also found to reduce the perception of effort during workouts, so you can push yourself harder, because you don't feel that pain right away, which is cool. Which that can just improve your physical health overall if you're constantly pushing yourself at the gym or in whatever. It also enhances muscular strength and power output. So it stimulates the release of calcium ions within the muscle fibers, which can improve muscular contractions, which allows athletes to generate more power during explosive movements like sprinting, jumping, or weightlifting. So just can overall make you stronger. It also, this is definitely a big one that a lot of people will be like, what the heck? Next to the Alzheimer's disease stuff. It will lower the risk of certain diseases like cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, that's surprising.
For type 2 diabetes, because of its link to increased metabolism, it's been shown to lower blood sugar and reduce the prevalence of type 2 diabetes, or the severity of it, I meant. But it's also important to note, caffeinated drinks with excess sugar, like frappuccinos, lattes,
so we're
things you get at Starbucks, that's not going to help you
at
all.
A basic cup of coffee.
But a basic cup of black coffee, that could definitely help you. And it can improve liver health because of its abundance of antioxidants, which can help reduce inflammation in liver cells. It improves liver function because caffeine can reduce ALT, which is a liver enzyme that is often elevated in any stage of liver disease and injury. And also, it's linked to lowering the risk of cardiovascular diseases and certain types of cancer. Because of its antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, it helps improve blood flow, which can help keep your organs healthy and your heart healthy too.
So what you're saying is I should just never give up my cup of coffee.
Right.
Ever.
Well, the recommended amount of coffee is 400 milligrams a day. So I think when you stay within those guidelines, it can be beneficial to you. But also, the benefits do depend on certain factors like your age, your whether you're biologically female or male, how much you drink if you exceed that. And just your genes, what you can handle. And too much of anything is bad in any sort of any nutrient, but caffeine especially, it should be moderately used in order to see these health benefits.
So seeing as it increases the production of adrenaline, what about people who suffer from anxiety? Because that does seem to be a lot more prevalent in our society today. Would it be safe to say that they should avoid or limit their intake of caffeine?
I think definitely limiting your caffeine intake would be very beneficial because you don't need to be drinking that much. Also, eliminating it altogether could also be an answer because, again, caffeine isn't something that you need to have in your diet. It's not essential. But if you're someone that wants to use caffeine and feel like they need it because, they don't sleep a lot, something like that, Exercise can help with that. It helps. It can help increase blood circulation, which helps you process the caffeine better. And also, another thing that I found is eating a high potassium and magnesium diet. That helps calm your nervous system and your muscles, which can help with the anxiety. Also, just hydrating, so your body can process the caffeine better, stuff like that. So there's definitely things you can do to help minimize the anxiety effects. Also, drinking lower amounts of caffeine, like drinking tea, or like things that don't have, like, don't drink like an energy drink if you're someone that tends to get anxious or isn't used to that amount of caffeine.
And obviously this probably is not a one size fits all, because everybody has varying degrees of anxiety. So it's more probably just about listening to your own body and paying attention to how you're responding to certain levels of caffeine. So what about tolerance and physical dependence on caffeine? Does the body eventually need more of it to get the same effect? Because I definitely find that on those occasions when I have attempted to detox from caffeine, thinking I'm being super healthy, it's horrible. It makes me never want to do it again because I get severe headaches. I can't do headaches. I get lethargic, like crazy lethargic.
I have the best night of sleep I'll have if I don't drink coffee. Because I'm tired throughout the whole day, and then I like hit my pillow and I'm like, whatever. But
so that makes me wonder, the whole dependence aspect of it. Like I was talking earlier about, I don't actually notice an effect with that one cup of coffee I have in the mornings.
Right.
So then, is that a bad thing that I am I've become dependent on it?
I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I think it's bad once you start exceeding like the daily limit. So I think in order to minimize or like decrease your tolerance, or also just prevent creating a tolerance in general, like especially for someone who wants to start drinking caffeine who doesn't already do so. I think just starting low and drinking like maybe 1 cup of coffee, or drinking tea, like drinking stuff lower in caffeine, and then just kind of sticking with that, maybe slowly increasing it but not exceeding. And then if you feel yourself needing more, maybe take a little bit of a break. I think for me personally, I will usually like every week, there's like 1 or 2 days where I don't drink caffeine, and it's like I feel it a little bit, but I think that definitely helps, especially when I stick with it and I do it every week. It's like each time I do it, I don't feel it as big of a crash. Like I might not feel as energized that day, but if I don't need to be energized, like if I'm not doing anything that day, then it doesn't really matter. So also just drinking caffeine when you actually need it is important too. Because like if you don't need it, then just don't drink it, and that will help you.
What about my ritual that I really love?
Because I will say it is a ritual.
Yeah, and like, when I've done the detox, and I have noticed like after 2 weeks of no caffeine, I actually do feel good. And my energy's back, and I feel like a normal human being again. But the joy I get from that 1 cup of coffee in the morning tends to overshadow like, this is a really good feeling, but I really miss my cup of coffee. It's
also like, because I do like coffee. Like, I just like the taste of it, too.
I know, that's just
so it's like a little, like, treat.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Just, like, try not to...
overdo it.
Yeah, just try not to drink too much.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've done the good side. Now, devil's advocate. Let's talk about risks and side effects. So, Harper, you got some information for us?
Yes.
It's going to make you sad, isn't it?
It is probably going to make you sad, but...
Okay, go for it. Do it.
There's a silver lining to everything. So there are several short-term effects and also long-term effects that come along with the use of caffeine. Like we talked about before, there are people with anxiety that probably should stay away from caffeine or limit it, because caffeine is a stimulus for your central nervous system, and so that increases certain stress hormones, specifically cortisol. So probably not the best thing for people with anxiety to be consuming. And then of course there's the obvious things like insomnia. If you are drinking caffeine too late in the day and it's causing you to have a hard time falling asleep and staying asleep. So if you're gonna drink caffeine, it's suggested that you do it earlier in the day and not like afternoon or at night, because that's gonna interrupt your sleep patterns. And then there's things like heart palpitations and irritability. It can cause upset stomach, nausea, diarrhea. this is all due to increased stomach acid production that comes from caffeine. It also causes frequent urination because caffeine has a diuretic effect. Okay. So if you're drinking a lot of caffeine, you're going to have to use the bathroom more, and that'll interrupt daily functions. Like if you're in school or at work, then you have to miss out on certain things because you're using the bathroom more frequently. Yeah. And then there's long-term effects such as caffeine dependence, which was also touched on before, and then withdrawal symptoms. So like when you aren't drinking caffeine for like a day and then you realize like mid-afternoon, oh yeah, I've got a really bad headache. This is probably due to not having caffeine in your system. Yeah. And then it can also cause osteoporosis because this reduces calcium absorption in your body. So that's
also very sad.
Yes, it is. And it also causes infertility and complications in pregnancy. It's linked to low birth weight for infants and also increases the risk of miscarriage.
Did you notice in your research, was that like for excessive amounts, or was that like you just shouldn't have any caffeine?
It was for like excessive amounts. So not like a very common thing, but it can be a problem if you are drinking too much a day. Risk, and it's like recommended that adults only drink 400 milligrams, which Grace said earlier. So if you stay at that limit or below, you should be fine. Yeah. That shouldn't be the cause of it. And also like people who are pregnant and breastfeeding should consume less than 200 milligrams a day. And adolescents, they say, should just try and stay away from it because it causes dependence. Yeah. You don't want to be functioning
when their bodies are still growing.
Yeah, only because you're drinking caffeine.
Yeah. Well, I imagine too, because their brains are still forming, right? And so what is what's the worst side effect you've personally experienced from caffeine?
I think the withdrawal symptoms.
The worst.
Yeah. I'll get a headache and realize that I'm not having any caffeine. Yep. So that's my biggest.
Yeah, I think that the withdrawals hit me really hard, and then on the very rare occasion where I've had even more than 2 cups, it's like oftentimes it's when I'm on a vacation, because I just like lose all inhibition apparently. And I'm like, I can drink all the coffee, and I'll have like 3 or 4, and I will get so jittery and like the heart palpitations. I experience that, and then I'll actually get a headache from too much as well, and then probably gut issues too. Yeah, which you're probably all too familiar with. What about you guys? Any really bad side effects?
I guess it just kind of gives me a feeling, not like nausea. I just feel weird, and not in a good way. Yeah, like not even necessarily more anxious. I just feel like I guess a headache, kind of foggy. Like I don't know. It does not sit well with me. No. Like a ton of caffeine, like coffee or Celsius.
Yeah. Do you have any bad side effects?
Well, definitely the jitters and anxiety. I feel like that's just like so distracting. Like, you want coffee to be like work for you, not like against you. And I feel like once you have those side effects, it's like it's not helping.
And where's that line? Right. Where it's too much now for your body specifically, right? Do you have any terrible stories to tell me about caffeine?
Not like terrible stories, but I just say like, I think there's like a common like effect here of like the upset stomach and nausea and headaches with like consuming caffeine.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
I feel like recently, no. I think when I was younger in high school, I remember like my sophomore year, like my friend's mom would take us to school every day. And every Friday, she would go to Tim Hortons and get us an ice cap and like a bagel or something. And so I drank that ice cap, and I would literally sit in class like this. Yeah. Like I was like, it was so bad. I couldn't focus on anything. Like I have vivid memories of me sitting in math class and not even knowing what was happening. Yeah, I was just like so like jittery. But like I think since developing more of a tolerance, I don't really have any like side effects. Yeah, well, even when I drink like excessive amounts of caffeine that I'm not really used to, like I'll just feel more energized. It won't really be like negative. It will only like help me.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I also have insomnia, and so I had to start studying sleep hygiene, which I didn't even know was a thing until a doctor said you need to go look this up. So, and that's one of the things they say on it, that you shouldn't drink actually it promotes you not drinking any caffeine at all through the day, not even in the morning. But if you're going to not have anything, I think it was like past 11 or noon, if you're going to have any caffeine, right? And so, because you need time to metabolize and get out of your system before you can lay your head down on the pillow and hopefully get some sleep. All right, so that was the sad part of it. But now for the super fun part. Yeah. So we want to talk about caffeine and food and culture. So Ashley.
Yeah. So this is kind of taking things in a different direction, like beyond the sciencey part of it. And it's because caffeine isn't just something we consume, it's kind of become a part of our culture. It's really shaped traditions, social habits, and I feel like people even make it a part of their identity. Like they always have that caffeinated drink with them. I feel like you can kind of think of a person maybe in your life.
Or like the Brits and their tea.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But I think when most people think of caffeine, their initial thought is coffee and stuff like that, but there's a lot of different ways you can get it. Like with teas, green and black teas like matcha also, they all contain caffeine, but it hits differently. Tea is a gentler and more sustained boost than coffee because it contains L-theanine, and that promotes more of a calm focus. But culturally, tea also has deep roots. I mean, like you just said, you think of like the British, like the afternoon tea parties or tea traditions. But then even like in America, I feel like tea itself is more like a casual thing. It's like, it's not as a serious setting, I guess.
Yeah.
There's also chocolate. Cocoa beans contain naturally caffeine, especially in dark chocolate. And then beyond just a treat, chocolate also has a lot of cultural significance. It's always given as like gifts. I love getting chocolate.
Who doesn't?
Right?
And
and there's traditional drinks like Mexican hot chocolate too that are really popular. Sodas are a big one too, like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. They've always been a part of casual dining and just like nostalgia for a lot of people too. They're not super high in their caffeine content, but they're still just like a staple in a lot of cultures, I feel like. And then there's energy drinks like Red Bull, Celsius, Alani, Ghosts. They're like icons in culture now, especially in like the youth, I feel like. They give that promise of quick energy and high performance, and they have like a high energy lifestyle attached to them because they're always being like marketed and by these influencers who are just like, I don't know, just promoting these drinks are everywhere. And they're marketed with the bold designs. Sometimes they have really good sports sponsorships too, so they're just kind of like in everyone's face with like the energy drinks.
Definitely.
Like. And then there's just caffeine and supplements and pills. That's more like, I feel like, in the athletic side of things that like athletes or professional weightlifters are taking. Those are more about function than the culture, like pre-workouts, tablets, or powdered boosters. And there it's treated as more like a tool than a ritual.
Yeah.
But caffeine also builds community, like coffee houses, and even places like Starbucks. You know, it's like just a perfect place to go meet up, have work breaks, casual catch-ups. It's just become a part of everyday life. Even in like the olden times, I can't think of an example, but I feel like in history class, you'd always see like the meetings, like a tea party, something like that. There's also tea rituals that can emphasize mindfulness and respect, particularly in countries like Japan. It's about patience, precision, and presence. And like I said earlier, in the U.S., tea shows up more casually, like childhood tea parties or just like a cozy social gathering. But overall, just sharing a caffeinated drink has become a ritual in itself. Meeting for coffee, grabbing boba, or just cracking an energy drink with friends, it creates shared moments and connections.
I like that.
It's also a trend, like I said before, with the caffeinated products for the youth. Caffeine's taken on kind of a new image. It's like that flashy side of it, and it's targeted, I feel like, to kids nowadays. I mean, think like Logan Paul's Prime drink. It's like bright red, blue.
That sounds gross.
Exactly. But it's like targeted to these kids. So the brands market the caffeine with bright packaging, partnerships, sponsorships, and social media plays a part in that too, especially on like TikTok and Instagram, where energy itself is sold as like a lifestyle. But that trend itself also can raise health questions and how much caffeine can be bad for youth and what it can cause, like anxiety, insomnia. And the American Academy of Pediatrics advises that the youth do limit their caffeine intake, which we kind of talked about. But some countries are even responding with regulations. Lithuania bans the sale of energy drinks to anyone under 18.
Oh, that's interesting.
So kind of like alcohol, I guess, in some places.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, though.
Yeah. It's just weird to think about that, like, you have to put an age limit on caffeine. It makes you wonder if maybe the risks are worse than you think.
Yeah, exactly. So out of all of that, what was the most surprising or weird source of caffeine that you read about?
It was chocolate to me.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Like, growing up, I don't know. You have so much chocolate, you never think that it's caffeine.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a high amount, but it's just weird to think
It's higher than you would think, though, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot what it was, but I remember the number surprised me a little bit.
Especially probably with
just
dark
weird.
chocolate.
It's like
Yeah.
almost as much as like tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be
Yeah.
around like 20 milligrams, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then the dark chocolate's going to have less of the milk and sugar in
Yeah.
it to sort of compensate. So you're getting mostly cacao in there, right?
Yeah. That definitely shocked me, though. I did not know that.
Yeah. So what do you think it is about drinking coffee or tea or whatever it is that has led to these social rituals that are so ingrained in cultures around the world?
I feel like just having a drink itself is like a reason for people to like meet up.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes there's people you want to go catch up with, but you don't know what to do. You're like, oh, let's go get coffee.
Yeah.
It's just like it gives people a reason to connect with other people.
And I'm also, because it makes me think too about, like with coffee, because it's a hot drink, right? So you can't guzzle it. You can't just like sit there and like shot and it's gone, right?
Yeah.
You have to take your time with it. And I wonder if that kind of lends itself to them like, okay, I want to do something.
Yeah.
And then while I'm having this cup, I mean, it's the same sort of thing with like cocktails. You're not going to go to a cocktail bar and guzzle it. You're going to sit there and sip it and take your time. So then you want to do that with other people because then that's just weird.
And with the bar too, it's like, other than Lithuania, I guess, but it's pretty accessible. Like anybody can go get coffee. It's not like you need to be 21 or, again, some exceptions, but yeah, it's just accessible.
Yeah. I'm a quiet, alone sipper.
Yeah.
I just want to like sit with a book and my cup of coffee. But yeah, if I'm going to meet a friend, I'm going to say, let's go to, I stay away from the chains, but like a cute coffee house somewhere. Because they always have cool vibes too.
Yeah, I know.
I love
the
going. It's
coffee
like,
shop.
there's some coffee shops I walk in, I was like, I want to live here.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Like the music's good, the ambiance is good,
Yeah.
lighting, going all down.
I think it was such a big part of being in the military was centered around caffeine.
Really?
Yeah.
What made me think of that was the pills specifically. Like people in the military, like we would do these training events and it'd be like 14 days out in the woods. People would pack the pills.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, because you can't take a bunch of Red Bulls or whatever.
Yeah.
People were, like bringing these pills and like taking them like crazy.
Did it help? Was it?
Yeah, maybe, I guess. I didn't really take them because that wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
But like, oh my god, people would pop them like crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would make me so jittery.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Drew, so let's talk a little bit about public health and recommendations when it comes to caffeine.
Yeah, the general guideline, I mean, we talked about it already. It's like 400 milligrams a day for most adults, which, I mean, that's kind of a lot. I mean, so like a cup of coffee is like 80 milligrams. So you have to have like 5 cups basically to get that 400 milligram.
So I could drink more.
You actually have 3 more to drink.
You'll lower your risk.
Also, it's going to help with my Alzheimer's, right?
3 to 5.
Yeah.
I feel like coffee kind of varies too in strength from what I've like seen. So,
well, compared to if you're doing like drip coffee or something like a cappuccino or something, I'm sure it's going to have, because espresso, I imagine, is going to have more.
I think cold brew has a lot of caffeine.
I have heard that too. I have heard that. Yeah.
Something about like the beans, like just sitting in the water for like 24 hours.
Yep.
But then you have like tea, and we talked about it. It's like lower in caffeine. That's 40 milligrams per cup, and obviously that's going to vary whether it's like green or black tea.
Yeah.
And 10 cups of tea is like insane. Like
that,
Yeah.
I mean, but that doesn't surprise me though, because in British culture they drink tea all day long. And don't struggle with sleeping apparently. So
I was like, they're so used to it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but there's got to be other things in the tea leaves too, like relaxants on top of the caffeine that's in there.
And we have like energy drinks, which, I mean, I've seen a lot of them vary. I mean, I feel like most are like 200 milligrams. I don't know. What have you guys seen?
Usually 200.
200, yeah. Wait, isn't Celsius like 300 something?
They're, okay, yeah. So I think like, I don't know if it's like Monster or maybe it's like, do you guys remember Bangs? I don't even know if those are still around.
Yeah.
Those are 300 milligrams.
Okay. Wait, I'm going to look up Celsius.
Celsius is
I'm
actually that make me feel sick.
Because that's what I
me.
probably, if I'm having an energy drink, it's most likely Celsius.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious.
Do you just find like the sweetness of them like kind of off-putting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't love any energy drink. I don't really like it. I just do it if it's like
caffeine.
just for the caffeine.
Yeah. I think that's why I haven't gotten into it because I just hate how sweet they are.
Yeah. Yep. Every flavor is like pink slushy or something like that. There's no like middle ground there.
Or blue raspberry.
Yeah,
And show me a blue raspberry in nature,
right?
Okay.
And then I'll try it. But
it's like different answers. 270. So it's like close to 300.
That's still a lot.
That's
a
lot.
That's like
people have multiple.
People that have more than one a day like scare me a little.
Me too.
Bit. Not to judge anyone.
Me too.
And that's like that's in one sitting. That's not even like spread out through the day. So you're like getting hit all at once with that caffeine.
That's a lot. That is a lot. Especially when we're talking about, you were talking earlier about youth drinking a lot of these energy drinks. And if you're seeing how much caffeine is in that and how it's not recommended that they have it.
And I feel like a lot of kids don't even know that they should be avoiding it. You
know
what I mean?
Exactly.
They have no clue.
Exactly.
And that kind of brings me to my next point. I know you touched on it, like the American Academy of Pediatrics not recommending caffeine to anyone under the age of 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's such a smart thing because, like, we talked about like those adverse side effects, and you don't know if like that's the caffeine's going to cause your child to like have anxiety, or maybe they're prone to panic attacks and they don't know it yet, so they take that caffeine and it just triggers a panic attack. So yeah, the AAP does not recommend children under the age of 12, but 12 to 18 it's saying up to 100 milligrams. So I mean that's like a cup of coffee. I mean, like,
not an energy drink.
No. Yeah, so I mean, I think parents just need to be like observant, like with their kids, and like, I don't want to say like just watch them like have their first cup of coffee, but like be observant, like see how it affects them, and definitely ease into it.
Well, maybe also have conversations about it so they know what they're drinking and the effects it could have on their body.
Right, and I feel like parents might need to be a little bit more aware of like, because I feel like a lot of kids have like pop and stuff before the age of 12, and I don't know, maybe some parents aren't aware that there's caffeine in that. So,
yeah.
But there's options. I mean, like, I know Coke makes a no caffeine version.
Okay.
So. And also something I found was for pregnant women, there's some mixed studies, but it is considered generally safe in lower doses. Higher doses showed like correlation between like early what's it called, delivery, premature birth, and lower weight in babies. So I feel like it is something to like be cautious about for pregnant women, but I think the main thing about public health is like the dose makes the poison. So like being aware of what you can tolerate and like knowing how much is in the food or beverage you're going to consume.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, how you know this by like, so the FDA requires like drinks that have added caffeine to like make sure like it's labeled and like it shows the amount of caffeine. But like some interesting things is like for food, like if it's naturally occurring.
Here's what I found.
Oh, she wants to get in the conversation.
If it's like naturally occurring, like we talked about dark chocolate having a lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
I mean, the people aren't like responsible for putting that on the label. Like they don't have to. So that is just something to be like cautious about.
Slightly disturbing. All right. Yeah. Well, so that makes me wonder then about teens, especially, or adolescents. So do you think people are actually paying attention to how much caffeine they're consuming? You're talking about parents maybe not being aware of what their kids are having, but even teens especially, do we think they have any idea how much caffeine they're consuming when they're having these energy drinks or going to Starbucks after school to get a latte?
Oh, definitely not. I mean, like, if you look at it, like, I have a can right in front of me, and, like, it's even hard to find it on the can. Like, I can barely find that it says 46 milligrams, and, like, I know what to look for. So if the kids don't know what to look for, they probably won't even find it on the label.
Okay. So I mean, let's say hypothetically that they did have an awareness of how much caffeine they're consuming. Do you think that would influence how much caffeine they consume? Do you think that would change their behavior or their intake of it?
I think it's a discussion the parents need to have with their children and see, like, I mean, if the kid's just drinking like Red Bull just to like drink it, or like Prime's popular, I'm pretty sure people in school, like elementary or middle, I don't know the population of who's drinking it, but like their friends might have it, so they might want to buy it. So like just something to watch out for.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking now it's more of a, like you said, the conversation parents need to be having with their kids like they do with anything else. You know, we talk to the kids about drugs and drinking, but maybe caffeine should join that conversation.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they lack a frontal cortex at that age, right? So
Yeah.
they don't have reasoning and logic. So,
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's also kind of a sad note to end on. But anyways, so let's do a quick recap of some of the main points. So, yeah, before we wrap things up, I want to run down like the benefits, risks, culture, recommendations. So caffeine definitely has its perks. It sounds like, Crystal, you mentioned it works by blocking adenosine, which keeps us from feeling tired and helps us stay alert, which is awesome. Grace, you talked about how it can boost focus, energy, and even athletic performance, which is great for students, especially student athletes, right, on campus. We all could use that little boost in the day. And that some studies are even showing that coffee might protect against things like diabetes or Alzheimer's when it's used in moderation, which I was very surprised to learn. And I'm going to use that to justify my coffee every day. But obviously it's not all good news, as with most things. Harper, you did remind us that too much caffeine can cause some pretty unpleasant side effects, like jitters, anxiety, headaches, trouble sleeping, whether it's the caffeine itself or withdrawals from it. And long term, it can even lead to dependence if you overdo it, which may be why I don't notice a change in how I feel after my 1 cup I have every morning. Ashley gave us a very interesting look at caffeine, how it shows up in parts of our culture, not just in coffee, but tea, chocolate, soda, energy drinks. Sharing a cup of coffee or tea has kind of become a social ritual for a lot of people, which I think, you know, it's sort of that perk that's like get together if you don't want to, especially if you don't want to commit to a meal. You just want to, let's meet up for a cup of coffee. And Drew wrapped it up by pointing out that, like most things in our diet, moderation is key. Isn't that always kind of like our motto as dietitians? Moderation is key. Most adults can handle around 400 milligrams a day, and that's about 4 small cups of coffee, but less is better for teens. That even sounds like maybe no caffeine is better for teens. And anyone who's pregnant, which I'm not going to lie, I did drink coffee when I was pregnant. But let's not forget, we're all different. Our bodies are going to metabolize caffeine in our own unique ways. I just think paying attention to labels. And also, I think the biggest thing is paying attention to how it's affecting you individually. I think we kind of sometimes skip that sort of insight of paying attention to our own bodies and what's happening internally. I mean, we're probably a little more aware of it because we're studying it in school, but, you know, in the general public. So, all right. So is caffeine a friend or foe, or both? So honestly, I think it's probably both. In the right amounts. It can help us feel focused, it's energizing, it's even brings people together. But if you rely on it too much or ignore how your body's reacting to it, it can definitely turn on you, it sounds like. At the end of the day, it's all about knowing your limits and finding what works best for you. So whether you're team coffee or tea or energy drink or no caffeine at all, being mindful about how much you're having can make a really big difference. So yeah, so that's it. So thanks for hanging out with us today and listening in. We hope this chat got you thinking a little more about how your own caffeine habits are impacting you, maybe even while you're sipping your next cup of coffee. Thank you.